their top dog team. Heroic are certainly the underdogs coming into this series, and not to mention because this is a new roster, new in-game leader. So certainly they showed up, but it's got to sting so badly for these players just to understand and know that it was so close for them, and because of them, because of their own mistakes, and maybe getting a little bit too ahead of themselves, they let the series go.
Well, do you have any ad libs that you could put together, like maybe jokes that you had prepared in the? Oh, never mind. Got saved by the bell on that one. Let's go ahead and bring in our first call, and I do believe it's going to be Malik after what was a very sweaty time in the server. Now gets to join us outside of the server at the desk. Malik, so you had some players disconnect, and what happened?
It's actually funny. We don't know what happened in those scenarios. Usually we are the other guys. But this time around, like, we were like, what? Really? Okay. So first, our bad. Like, we should always stay till the last second, and don't do that at home. It's never finished, obviously. It's very unfortunate for them. I think they deserve to take the win. I do think we are not playing the best Counter-Strike. We are saying that every day, but we are always trying to stay positive, but I do think we can do way better. We definitely need some rest. I know that we will have some rest very soon after this competition, actually, and recharge the batteries, and I hope we can play way better. But anyway, it's very unfortunate for them, and they do deserve the win today as well.
Yeah, which is strange because you don't often hear a competitor say that, hey, the other team deserved to win, but somehow we pulled out, at least within the confines of Counter-Strike. So I can respect you for that, and obviously so much more. Bled, what do you have for the man?
One thing which you mentioned a while back, Malik, was how you do tend to have the comm issues, communication issues when the going gets a little tough, right? But apart from that, it just seems like even if you look at a map pool, it seems to be shrinking day by day. Your map picks themselves, you don't seem to be very confident on. I mean, are there other intangibles which is affecting the team morale, or something seems to be missing? It's an X factor which I can't figure out myself.
I really think that this map pool thing that we see, and when you start to lose a bit of confidence, and when you start to have like underlying issues that a bit more like deep things that are happening in a team, your map pool will most likely look a bit weaker. And then Dust 2 used to be a very strong map. Obviously it is not. And then other maps starts to be a bit checky as well, but it's not whole sides. I mean, anyway, the point is that when it starts to look like fire around you, you just need to keep chill and take day by day and just get through them. And this is what the big teams are doing. Yeah. Right now we are not playing the best. Yes, we are very tired. We have been working a lot. The last 60 days have been just Counter-Strike. I think we definitely need to breathe a bit, take a few days off after this tournament. And I hope we can go on to bootcamp very soon, because I do think it will help the team to get to the proper level. So right now, I'm not clearly answering to your questions, but I just really think that the most important thing here is that we are weak on comms, we are weak on decision making, we are weak on map pool, and on a lot of things. Actually, I see it from the inside, but like it's fine. We just try to fight. We get the win today. We will try to get the win tomorrow as well, and rest a bit and recharge and start the cycle all over again. Yeah, that's the plan.
Well, luckily for you, Malik, you get to start all over again. You got Astralis coming up. So that's, I guess, one thing to look forward to. Do you look forward to a match like that after having been stressed out from a match like this?
No, I really think it doesn't matter. Like, this is how competitive CS is. Like, one day you can lose 16-0 twice, and the next day you can win the game. There is no doubt about this, even though they are very good. I really think like tomorrow will be a competitive game, and we are just waiting forward to it. And I think the boys really want, to show up and do this game with proper standards at this time. Definitely.
Of course. Christine, you want to have any closing questions for the men?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about G2's T side of things. It seems like you guys really like to rush a lot, even on those gun rounds, which is something we don't see very often, especially out of the top teams. But you also have a lot of success with these fast-paced rounds. But also there's a lot of blunders. There was many rounds in this series alone where you fast rushed and didn't even get a kill and just get completely shut down. Is that something you guys see often in practices, or why do you keep rushing? Do you find a lot of success with these strategies?
The only thing that is relevant is that you can have like a beautiful CS with all the fundamentals and play like all the smart thing and like not rushing or changing the pace, changing areas, having elizability, you know, all these common things that you try to have with a good team. And to some extent, if the guys are starting to lose themselves a bit, but they are feeling good individually, and there is no way we synchronize, and it's a bit chaotic and everything, the guys just try to never lose faith in what they are made of individually. And it's also 9 CS, and we also know that it's putting chaos onto the opponent we have in front of us, and that they should always be aware of like this change of pace and the fact that we can just run on them at any minute. And it's more like a defensive thing most of the time, specifically on 9 now. But like there is not like a plan before the game, like, okay guys, we will be super fast paced and it's like the smart thing to do or anything. I think it's just like right now, this is just a tool, you know. We have strong players, and sometimes we are like, okay, if you feel like it, just go for it. I don't want to see my boys losing, not having the proper fundamentals, and not having the confidence in the individuals as well, because then we will be top 30 next month, which cannot happen, of course.
It's not really in the plans, is it, Malik? Listen, man, I've appreciated your time, and moreover, I feel like we've learned a little bit about G2 here, so we'll let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
And again, congratulations on what a weird game that was.
Thank you. Looking forward tomorrow. We will put a good show tomorrow, guys.
That is the plan. Of course, that was Malik, the coach of G2. We are the desk, and we're here to break some more stuff down. We're going to do that with Potter via Stats Helix. Potter, what have you crafted up in your sandbox?
In my sandbox, I just wanted to highlight a beautiful round coming out of Heroic. As we mentioned, this was a match that was absolutely in Heroic's grasp, and this is a round that certainly showcased exactly that. I want you to take a look at these two smokes coming fast to mid. One's going to be covering off window and one close mid, but it's Cadian just man-moding down mid and just alphaing Kenny S, taking him out quickly. But it's the reactions really coming out of Heroic immediately after this pick that I appreciate so much. Borup is going to beeline his way into the B tunnels, and all alone by his lonesome, he's going to be selling this fake towards this B. He's posturing for a B mid split, or that's what he's making G2 think. And because Kenny S got taken out so early down in this mid, it makes G2 so nervous, and Heroic know exactly that. Take a look at Nico. He's in such a forward position with just a deagle, nothing to lose, and he initiates this pick onto Jax, and it just clears up all of this A bomb site. So I appreciate the fundamentals coming out of this round. I appreciate the discipline, but really just the game plan coming out of Heroic on the T side of Mirage. It really showcased it perfectly in this round alone.
And thank you very much, Christine. Of course, one thing I'm just kind of stuck here hinging on is what is man mode and how do we find it? Bleh, have you found man mode yet?
I'm looking to find man mode. Trace, do you know what man mode is? Because you look like someone who knows what a man mode is.
He doesn't
You
know
look
what
like
it
a
is.
guy that knows what a man mode is. Yeah, he doesn't know what it is.
Maybe
You're right,
Christine does. Maybe Christine knows.
Maybe Christine does, but we'll have to check in with that for another day. We're going to go to a break because we come back. We're going to have a little bit more action coming your way. Astralis taking on North and not a KRB in sight. But for us, I'm out of here. See you later. James Banks is taking over, and we'll be back tomorrow. See ya.
I'll come whenever you call. I'll run right into your arms. Oh, hold on whenever you fall. 'Cause you change me, ooh, you change say goodbye to another night. The countdown's running slow. We're coming off the best of times with nowhere to go. No bright lights for the future, only frozen rain. Try and ignite a revolution. Some things never gonna change. Don't let it get the best of us. I fight for what you know. Let the world bet against us, but we'll be getting close. The time is running out tonight, so let's go. So let's go. Crying eyes try to look away, but we're no good at pain. The same old mess we always seem to make, clean it up again. A metal heart with a black key, it could be good as gold. But in your head, a voice is screaming, we'd be better off alone. Don't let it get the best of us. I fight for what you know. Let the world bet against us, but we'll be getting close. The time is running out tonight, so let's go. Chasing the future, let's go. So we don't sing alone. Don't let it get the best of us. I fight for what you know. Let the world.
I'm taking over the show as we go forward to our second best of three of the day here at the DreamHack Masters Spring, and we've got the Danish derby coming up. It's going to be Astralis taking on North. To walk us through this one, we've got none other than Blair and Pimp, and this is going to be a magical one, guys, because yesterday, all right, Astralis showed us they can still hang against the likes of Heroic, but this one's going up against the North that's certainly looking a lot better.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. I mean, I've been looking forward to this game ever since I knew these group stages were coming out. I think both of these lineups have a lot to fight for. You know, North was created back in the days to be the competitor to Astralis. They were created to be not only one of the best teams in the world, but they're created to be better than Astralis. Obviously, that hasn't happened as of lately. We know Astralis is the better team, but I think North is here to prove a point, and I think Astralis is right now, at least considering Yugi just came into the lineup, they are a team that North can talk to, right? There's a potential chance for North to push it all the way through a 3-mapper and then potentially win the game. So I'm looking very much forward to this one.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think it's going to be very close either way we look at it. But Blair, what have you made of Yugi's performance so far? Because he's in an awkward spot, right? There's SC-Tag sat on the bench waiting to come in when his contract's finally available. And then we sit in a position where Yugi has to fill in because Glaive needed to take this time away. He's kind of like needing to prove himself, yet we spoke about this guy for so long.
Yeah, I kind of feel a little bad for Yugi, and I believe just one game is not enough time to judge them, right? To judge what he can do in his lineup. I think there was an interview with Cajun B gave yesterday where Cajun mentioned how when it comes to this new kid, you know, Yugi sitting in on this team, and Astralis, sorry, I'm getting confused between the other side and the other side of North. But yeah, I for Yugi especially, I feel like he is doing his job. I think that's very important. He is filling in perhaps the best Counter-Strike team of all time. The pressure's there for him. He doesn't have much time either to work with. But I like the fact that Astralis are giving him the space to work with. That is that's a complete contrast compared to how Crystal is given the space in North. Over there, he's being slotted in and he's being forced to play a very rigid role. Yugi is being given a lot of options, like playing the Lurk, for example, on the train T side. And I think that's Astralis showing that despite not having the structure that they would have with Glaive, you could see the flaws in the Inferno T side yesterday. They are still allowing Yugi to kind of grow and feel comfortable in this lineup to kind of showcase himself. And I feel one game's not enough to really judge. I want to see what he can do today.
One thing I did notice yesterday, just a quick thought on that one. I saw Yugi play a role that SATAC will play perfectly fine, right? So I'm very curious to what's going to happen when SATAC is out of that contract with Heroic. We know that's going to be the 1st of July. Is Yugi just in here to be a placeholder for SATAC?
Yeah.
The way Yugi was playing yesterday, that would be a role that SATAC could do. And with all due respect to Yugi, he would do it much better. You know, that's a role that fits him naturally as a player. So I'm very curious to see how Astralis is gonna jiggle around with these players, and especially for Yugi, right? He now has 1 month to prove that he can be more than just an AWP player, that he can get back to the level he once had. Whereas for SATAC, we know what he's good for. So I think Yugi is gonna have a very interesting month, and I think Astralis is just trying to get the most out of it.
Well, let's hear what Astralis had to say coming out of going into this game.
I mean, playing online is somewhat different from playing on the LAN event. It's like you don't have the crowd expectations, so it is a different thing. But overall, I'm just really happy and excited about that we can continue working from home, and that we're not just put in a position like football is, where you can't really everything just put on hold.
Is that using their own CT smoke against them to get control towards B. It hasn't worked out this round though, as Golden is actually got the ball. That's a nightmare for Magisk. Fully commits to it, and now Golden sits in the smoke.
I do believe there's a lot of teams out there. There seems to be playing a lot better online, not because they're like cheating or anything like that, but it's just about the pressure, and that they have just more like confidence doing risky plays and everything that they probably wouldn't dare doing when there were like maybe 10,000 people watching them live. As for right now, we haven't prepared anything special for North. I think once we get there, we will definitely look how they play, and we will figure out how we want to approach the game. Obviously, losing to your rivals would be kind of bad, so we're going to do everything we can to come out victorious.
The rivalry is strong between these two, but it's the North camp that started to actually look better. But I feel like we've done this so many times, Pim, where we say, oh yes, North, this could be the lineup, this could be the chance. Even with a stand-in, they started to look like they're capable. But is this the North we want to see that can rise to the top and finally take down Astralis?
I mean, I'd like to see it, right? We'd like to see North be a competitive Counter-Strike team. We'd like to see them finally realize some of the potential they have. It's like ever since Valda left them, ever since DreamHack Masters in 2018, I believe, in Malmo, when they won the entire thing, that lineup has just been a shadow of themselves, right? That whole setup in Parken, where it looks so good on the pictures. The training facilities are fantastic. Some of the players have been fantastic in certain periods of their careers, but they have never clicked together in the lineup of North as we see it right now. I think personally we're starting to see tendencies that is a good sign for North. We're starting to see some healthy signs coming out of the lineup. I think having MSL as an in-game leader, trying to orchestrate, how they want to play and how they want to approach the game is a good thing. And then AC finally starting to play Counter-Strike at the level we know he can.
Yes.
He is the player in Denmark that is supposed to be one of the very best.
And when we're talking about AZ, right, it's finally great to see him actually coming up to that performance. But Blair, do we think he can keep this go?
I mean, that's up to him. Does he want to maintain the level he wants to do? It's completely up to him, but he has proven that so far. And not just him, MSL, not just in-game leading, but being very handy with the AWP. He's not as simple or a Kenny S, but as long as he does the job with the AWP, especially in the CT side, where they are much better, in my opinion, I think that's great. Even Cajun B as well, he's been really pulling his own weight, considering they're making it easy for the stand-in, whether it's Jumpy or Crystal playing right now, to make the life a little easier. But one name that sticks out, and Pim, you pointed out yesterday as well, Gade. He had the one good map yesterday. Yeah. Apart from that, I mean, you're the veteran in this lineup, right? You're supposed to, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That's how the old adage goes. And it's time, when you have a stand-in coming in, you're supposed to make him feel comfortable. You're supposed to put in more numbers, not even calling anymore. And if he starts being a little bit more consistent, don't have to top frag all the time. Just drop the numbers, be consistent. I think this North team, even with a stand-in, could be quite dangerous.
Well, let's see where North's head is at before we get into the game.
We know that it's going to be a really difficult game against Astralis, but we just got the information that they are going to play with Yugi instead of Glaive. Yugi is of course coming with a lot of motivation, and of course we're going to prepare as we do as for any other opponent. We know that they are the best team in the world. So of course we are the underdog as well. So we're gonna try to take advantage of that.
He's stuck now. He's stuck in the site here.
He'll find a way.
First shot is his.
Oh, wow. Playing around his own smoke. Broke into clutch. He was all the way at A, and Cajun knows it, looking for the most likely.
When we face an opponent like Astralis, it's really important that we try to stick to our plan. We have some small twists here and there, but the main part is that we're gonna play our game. They probably have the best team play at this point, but I think we're here to prove that we can match with them, and I think that's our goal, that we're gonna try to keep up with them. They are definitely the team who has something to lose here.
They certainly are the team that have something to lose when you're looking at what Astralis have going into this game, because when I look back at the results, it wasn't since April 2017 that North was even able to take a map away from Astralis. That's how dominant Astralis have been. That's crazy.
That's crazy, especially when you consider what I just said before, right? North was built to be the biggest Danish brand of Counter-Strike. They were built to take down Astralis and show that Astralis wasn't the only team in Denmark who could play Counter-Strike at a high level. So when you say, when you present, I guess, a stat line like that, that's going to be very disappointing for the North game.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our map veto here. And guys, I want to get your thoughts. Is there one way that you saw that, okay, North can take an advantage here? Or is Astralis' map pool as always too strong?
It's always too strong, and unfortunately, Train Mirage, these are the two perma bans and early bans for both the teams, right? So Astralis going for the usual Mirage ban first, and North's like, yeah, we would have probably banned Mirage, you've taken it out, so we're going to go for Train. Now, North have consistently, again and again and again, been going for Vertigo. Now, this, I'll get back to that. And Inferno, Astralis getting picked up there, it's a little shaky. Yesterday, they had to have Device put in a god-class CDSide performance for them to win that map. It was a very close affair. North Vertigo, it's still shaky. They have the right fundamentals, they have the right IDs, but sometimes things tend to fall apart, especially with a new stand-in coming in. And then Nuke is the decider. I think Nuke might be the better map to watch, if that makes sense, when it comes to Counter-Strike, pure Counter-Strike. Because Vertigo is shaky for the side of North. We all know Astralis can do quite a number of things on that. And looking at the Astralis we saw yesterday, it's more about firepower this time. It's a very different Astralis from what we're used to seeing, right? So looking at a map like Vertigo and Inferno, I think it can get very messy, can get very close, and I do believe you're going to see a lot of individual moments, which is going to kind of net them those rounds.
And that is a big problem, right? The problem is that North go-to map pick is Vertigo against a team like Astralis, who have more or less cemented themselves as being, if not the best Vertigo team in the world, then at least one of them, right? So North are just in a position here where they have to go with what they feel comfortable about. So, you know, the veto definitely panned out the way it was supposed to, and especially for Astralis, they got to feel very comfortable about this one.
Yeah, no, they certainly will going into it, especially when we look at that Nuke Decider, which is obviously a Danish key map to come in there. But I've got to get your thoughts, guys, on this. Which way do you think this is going to go, opening it up?
I'd be highly surprised if Astralis is not going to win this 1-2-0, but I would be pleasantly surprised if we can get all three maps and get to a nuke.
I would agree with Pimp on that. I think Astralis should still have this. I think the man for man, the players are just better right now, even though both are playing with stand-in. So yeah, Astralis, I would love to see North pull off a win, finally wake up, but it's looking unlikely.
Yeah, I certainly can agree with you guys there. It seems like it could be going all the way for the Astralis' favour, especially if they can deliver like they delivered yesterday with the little practice they had with Yugi. But it's time for us to kick it to a break. And when we come back, we'll be getting into this match. And Twitch chat, you know what time it is. It's time for you to get your votes in and choose who you think is going to win this game. We'll see you very shortly.
Flashbang's affected. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive. Oh, Chris! He's found three. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris.
Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back working from home and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you gonna want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you gonna be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're gonna want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
Never let them get you down. The ones who can't imagine who you really are. Oh, you really don't want them around. They can't see the truth, no. Baby, we belong among the highest stars. I can't see what you're gonna do. Oh, try to wings out with me, 'cause you know I believe we can fly where the eagles go to be free. We can step out tonight on the air that we breathe. We can fly where the eagles go to be free. Never gonna let you go. Now that you and I have flown into the sun. Oh, we're bathing in the afterglow. Here we are together on the journey of our lives. The future has begun, and I know what we're gonna do. Oh, try to wings out with me, 'cause you know I believe we can fly where the eagles go to be free. We can step out tonight on the air that we breathe. We can fly where the eagles go to be free. Try your wings out with me, 'cause you know I believe we can fly where the eagles go to be free. We can step out tonight on the air that we breathe. We can fly where the eagles go to be free.
Well, good evening, folks. We're back with more Counter-Strike, of course, and we've gone ahead and invaded your European coverage. It is Stronny and Londers, and we're here to bring you guys what's going to be a very exciting Danish derby. James said it in his deep dive. The last time North took a map off Astralis, 2017. Mohan, it's 2020, and it's been a while since they've been able to create this upset, so I think they'll have their hands full today.
Maybe we'll see history repeat itself. Yesterday we saw, without realizing, Steel beating Liquid for the first time in their history. Did you bring that up, or I think someone pointed it out to me on Twitter?
Yeah, I believe that was Dex.
Shout out to Dex.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have another historic stat line here, as maybe North can beat Astralis. No better time to do it when they don't have 5 of their players.
It's true.
This starting lineup, I should say. Starting lineup.
The star-studded lineup.
The star-studded.
But we do still have Device over here towards the back of Sandbag. Zipex through the smoke denies Christu, and now Device is going to start revealing himself. He's able to get 1, now 2, potentially a 3rd, until Gade's able to answer with something. But with that first kill from Gade, he finds himself in a 1 versus 5 situation. So North, it's going to be a tough spot. They kind of dismantled their opponent yesterday here on Vertigo. It looked really good for them, but I think Pimp has a lot of good points when he's arguing that Astralis have always been strong on Vertigo. They kind of adopted it and made sure to plug that hole early when it was included into the rotation. So we will see what they can do. But, this one, I mean, listen, poor guy gets shot through a smoke by a USP. How do you stop that?
It's a weird one, actually. I was looking at that. I was like, that's a pre-fire spam, but how come that bomb didn't get planted out of the view of that player behind it? So I don't know exactly how that happened, but Zipex seemed to know exactly where the bomb would get planted. So just nice and perfect from him, obviously. No smokes, no walls stop him. No 1vx situation stops him. Nothing stops Zipex. He decides when he wins or loses.
The mastermind.
The mastermind.
The clutch god.
The 5-head.
And the ready for anything in this round type by MP5 umps. It's been a while since we've had the UMP in plays. I'm down for that. We've got a nice melange of SMGs in the mix. But here's Yugi out of the corner. They thought they had found timing on poor Dupree. He fumbled that smoke grenade. It bounces off the wood. They thought maybe they could pressure him, but Yugi, the landmine from behind, destroys them all, racks up that cash, and moves us to the 2-0 start.
That's a great pet name, the landmine from behind. That's awesome. Yeah, you never want to walk backwards into a landmine. At least if you walk forwards into a landmine in a minefield, you could brace yourself because you knew what kind of danger you're getting to. It blows up behind you, that's going to hurt even more. You're going to have no ass after that. So that's not a landmine that you want to walk into. The Yugi landmine sitting on the stairs behind you.
Well, he's not going to find much action this time because we have North already trying to fumble their control on A. Ooh, that one hurts. Poor MSL. He was just trying to contest the tarps through the smoke, through the flashbangs. He gets spammed, dies to the wallbang in the end. So a flying start here from Astralis and North yet again over towards this A site. Very quickly kind of turned down. And they'll sit outside of it, but they seem keen to get their eyes back up this ramp.
Really interesting position. Magic going to try to catch the lurks. The meta still hasn't changed much at A. They changed the material, but it's all about this fight up the ramp versus smokes, hopping over sandbags, trying to get control on the ramp. And then on the other side of the map, it's like a different map entirely. You know, B has so much more to do with mid and B by itself, and A is like all on its own. So got two different factions now working together to defend. A kind of a nice bait setup to get some extra damage in. Most importantly, to get some info, a nade off, and fall back.
Oh, another little re-engagement here for Debris, so making sure that he doesn't just give them all of that real estate, keeping those forward angles. It's been a real pleasure watching this B bomb site develop as time goes on, but at this moment, not looking too easy to get into. Yugi is going to finish this one off. He is kind of looking hot this morning. It was a cool start to their best of 3 yesterday for Yugi. Had a tough job trying to slot into that Ivy play on Train, and now, so far so good. So 3 rounds down, and North back to the Pistols.
We're back on the Pistols. They have 3 kills in total, all on Gade. Connor, I want to get your thoughts. How do you feel about the B site changes and mid changes?
Right. Well, let's focus on B off the gate. I like, first of all, that quad is no longer as thick. You know, you can still have a player play that post plant, but there's a far less cover. I think that kind of clears up that corner, which was, I think, too much of a focus point on certain rounds. Like, I don't like the ability to just hide and cower and have to retake thinking of that corner consistently. So anything that's more open gives us longer ranges for gun duels. I'm all for it, Mohan.
I'm with you. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. It's too much of a pressure point for all the action in the round. And just like this corner on A ramp, where a lot of the duels happen towards A, it feels like that's something that maybe needs to be developed in the future. And at the moment is a bit one-dimensional in terms of the fights coming up A ramp. So yep. I hope that gets some action, some change maybe.
I think it would merit it. I think when the map comes out, a lot of it's kind of just first understanding like where in professional play our gunfights and engagements are going to fall across the map. And I think that when Vertigo was released, or introduced rather, like top mid was supposed to be this big focus point, and now we're understanding what's going on at B and where people get clumped up and where people feel claustrophobic, and we fixed that. So I completely agree that now A should be the same thing and on that angle you mentioned. But enough of map theorizing, because we have a very real round ahead of us. Guns up for North. Is the 5th time the charm? Well, Flashbang successful over towards the A site. They've already been able to keep that off at bay. There is still the threat of a short player looming near, and now a second as Magisk tucks in.
Yeah, they fall back. Think about using grenades. Magisk gets pushed up kind of close, which is going to be really valuable. An amazing grenade here at the feet of MSL to kick things off. Easy posted up on the ramp. Very threatening position, but if he pops up, I mean, Device could actually just shoot him, and that's some info. There was somebody behind enemy lines, a bit too close for comfort. Device lets him go back, but they already know there's at least a few people there.
Oh man, that is a big,
let's see the
bold,
Kobe.
Beautiful angle. Ooh. Not bad. Gade's legs almost taken out from underneath him, but what you can do with a grenade, North can do better with wall bangs. Magisk, lucky to be alive, and you have to wonder whether that would have served as a trigger for the execute. If they get that pick, do they immediately try to flex the man advantage into this A site? Because we do still have North very much grouped up outside of this. And at the same time, Astralis, same basket. 4 members of their defense here on A. And with 30 seconds left, and this utility being volleyed over, they're ready for the hit. So they're looking to bunker and hunker down. Another piece of utility, but the Molotov gets extinguished in the smoke, and that leads them to walk right into Zipex. He's only going to find the first kill. We've got a boost on CT to get vision over smoke. It works fantastically for the first. Now they're going to try to jump up over it as well. MSL, he's shut down, and it's a 3 versus 2 in the post plant. So at least North have gotten this bomb down, and the CTs are tasked to the retake. dupreeh comes out from elevator, but this is both members of North on ramp. And they're gonna wait. They're gonna chill. CTs peek out on short because of that flash. They're starting to wrap. They're gonna get this pinch, and dupreeh isolating the 1v1s makes it look all too easy. Now there is the pressure of the defuse. Yugi calculates it down to the wire, but that's the 5-0 start that Astralis had hoped for.
Wow, that's some beautiful confidence there from Yugi. I guess, you know, his teammate could come in and get the defuse if he doesn't get it, but down to the last tick on that defuse, very nicely done. With the time ticking down as well, he had to step into that fire. So, but, A-site Vertigo, as ugly as we remember. The meta hasn't changed much. Do you know what is the worst part about all that? Is even though the fight goes down to like the 30-second mark, not a single T has to go back and watch a flank because there's no threat of a CT trying to big flank. Nobody's willing to take that risk right now. And that means that it's a stalemate in some sense over on the A site, but this is a big opening kill. And again, you see how drawn out these rounds get. A lot of it comes down to, can they make something happen before they enter the site?
I'm a little surprised by Zipex's decision there. He just tries so hard to spam through that yellow tarp and get the opening kill that he leads himself to the 2-man push up in his face. It's almost like he expected somebody to be holding ramp for him as he commits to the 30-bullet spray down. But regardless, that's a very easy opening pick for North, and they will happily take a 5 versus 4. They completely transition over to this B bomb site, so now dupreeh's gonna feel the heat. He's spammed through smoke. Christu, 6th Sense as he drops that one and goes one better. Hard entries, clean headshots, and a 5 versus 2 on B.
Just an amazing set of entries there from Christu. Looked like he never stopped holding A, just running left across the screen, shooting. I am shocked. First of all, the initial kill was a straight headshot through the smoke on the entry. I think just assuming that somebody was sitting in that corner. And then the second one was great. Now, I mean, wasting no time, I think, was the big difference between whoever was there, generator, looking to the right, and holding the left. You know, him wasting absolutely no time in that moment. So doing a great job of space creation there. And Christu is a player who I haven't been impressed by, at least not in their last series. And I don't know how you feel about him, but we know obviously with an organization of this stature, there's a lot of a lot of thought that goes into picking up a player like this, right? Or any player,
young player,
to be a 5th, right, on the roster. This is a pretty big deal. So even if a young player may be a bit nervous or have bad performances at first, I think it's worth our time to try to figure out what are the positives and what is the potential.
Yeah, well, potential for a follow-through here on this A site. Magis down to 2 HP. We had more members of Astralis on this bomb site at the start of the round, probably trying to curb back what was that early aggression we saw from North last round, where they succeeded in the 5v4. Device back on his bold angle. Very much exposed to short. MSL tries to tuck back in. There was a chance for Zipex to swing wide there, but he opts not to. So we are still sitting 5v4.
That was a really, man, the tactic was perfect, right? The flash comes out. MSL has like over a full second to hit that shot. He needs to get Device off the top of the default box. And I really hate to criticize aim because, you know, this is a game where we like to see people shoot each other in the back of the head, but there's a moment where the mechanics don't meet with the tactics, and tactics are perfect. And then Device ends up killing MSL as well. At least there's a kill from the grave, but it's still 4v3.
Yeah, MSL from beyond, able to burn one. Now we do still have 3 players for Astralis here on the A site, so we're ready for the hit. Again, Zipex gonna play the same angle on this smoke. It's one of his own smokes, right? Gives him a huge advantage when he can see the kneecaps of the players coming up. It's Cajun who has a further back angle that enables the trade, but now he's in a 1 versus 4. Not ideal. Although he steals away the first one. And remember, Magisk 2 health. So a couple of headshots could have got the job done. But that's Yugi to 8-1 as Astralis lead by 5.
I'd like to see if anything from North changes in this round if they decide to, with the amount of money they have, attempt to go back to the A site and play old Vertigo or try to explore some new parts of the map. I wonder how comfortable they are going for mid control here, because I think that was one of the things that was most encouraged from Valve to the T side, is adding more value to taking mid and making it very hard to hold. Removing the sandbags means there's a number of angles now the CTs can't feel as comfortable. There's that Case Dorado angle, that right angle against the wall that you can play if you're very pushed up, but that's a dangerous spot to play now that you don't have a sandbags player to cover you. And then you have the main big boxes that you get boosted up on top of, but those are angles that the T's can clear without worrying about another one. So there's not a huge risk in going mid or attempting to go mid at the moment, especially if it's delayed, and especially if Astralis know you're going to try to take A every round.
It has been this consistent A start at the beginning of all the rounds. We're getting these gun duels early, so Astralis again not shying away from the utility. Oh, Magisk. You're going to take that one any day of the week.
This is kind of an ask and you shall receive moment where they're spamming both ways. I mean, there's a handshake here. No one's going to run up into the site unless a kill comes down in the T's favor early. And before that, you're going to be responding to spam back and forth. You know, sitting in a smoke like that, you're kind of begging the situation to come your way, but you're not really giving yourself a chance to fight back.
I like that Device is playing around to this boost angle. I feel like going for just a deeper angle to peer down a ramp is a little bit dangerous when you know all these bodies have been here early for North. So at least he's got that safer setup, but again, he will try to pry his eyes over smoke. Yugi, with that secondary AWP, is at the top of mid, and he peels one off. We have seen near no mid play up until this point. But 30 seconds left over, 2 versus 5, desperate for some sort of an opening. Completely separate are the members of North, but Cajun still successful. Now, we saw that head. Yugi's been seen here by Christu, who is the bomb carrier. So as much as Cajun B can be successful over on the A site, it really hinges on Christu, and he has now equalized this. 15 seconds left. If they're going to make the play happen, if they're going to try and play for this win, they've got to do it now. But Device even giving them another chance.
8,
if only
7.
the plant...
Oh
my God.
It.
He's got it.
And Debris gonna wait and just listen. Yeah, he might actually
Nelly Furtado.
Not even try to save this. What was that reference?
Oh, Nelly Furtado.
Oh, Nelly.
Great
okay.
artist.
Right, yeah. Fly
back
like
to the
a
90s.
bird. Yeah.
Man, 2v5. Try to boil that down. I mean, it hinges on 2 players, obviously. Christu and Cajun B both hitting their plays perfectly and doing so completely individually. So, I mean, those were very much independent variables that both lined up, you know.
Yeah.
The stars aligned, and this time not for Astralis.
That's true. I think even if Device hits his shot, there's a chance the plant can go down, but Christu has to kill Device in that same sequence immediately and then run. But that being said, it'd be a 1v1 Dupree could try. But before all this, what's most important, I think, is the fact that they tried the same dead A take that didn't work out. MSL got killed trying to pull off the same lurk he did, or tried the round previous. And then after that, they incorporated mid and basically had 2 players lurk out. 1 player got caught immediately, and then that still ended up having them win the round. So we can see the immense value from trying to take mid control for them, even if it's predictable, and even if it doesn't go so well at first.
Yeah, we got a little change of pace here, boys. We've had Zipex kind of playing that forefront, using what was utility off of the crane and a little bit of wall bang to try and hold back the A players. This time, Device has had enough. He tries to change pace, shoves that op down their throats, and suddenly, it's going to take North over towards this B bomb site. Now, Yugi has a passive angle, but he is fully blind, as was Christu, so that definitely helps. Cuts off the head of the snake, and now looks to deal with the wiggling body that was the last 2 players. Yugi, solid hold, solid start, 12-2 here on Vertigo.
The flashes were good, but I don't know if that might not have been AZ's fault. It could have been it could have been Christu or whoever was in front there to eat the flash, but it seemed like the flashes were meant to help blind the players on the site while the T's dodge and make space all the way. And I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because Christu did a great job of making space in a previous round. So I have a feeling he was meant to run out like that. Maybe just mistimed it, or the angle was a bit off and he ate it and they ended up losing. But there's a moment there where if he's not blind, he kills Yugi on the B site, and then we got a brand new round. So another round that hinges almost on the single kill to at least secure a bomb plant. You know, not necessarily win the round, but to get to a place where they could be favored once again. And I don't mind the attempt on B. It worked out so well previously, and they already were down 3v5. A group up B explode makes more sense than the A takes that can be so laborious and so nade intensive and take, you know, 50 to 60 seconds when you're already down 2 guys at the very start of the round, 2 utility belts already wiped out.
Got Dupree with prying eyes down towards B. Looking to peel one off, but nobody presents their head just yet. We're just kind of feeling out this map. I feel like North wanting to maybe change gears here. MSL licking his fingers, flipping through the playbook. And it seems like regardless of whatever page he lands on, it's going to be Christu on the forefront. Young player, big job. Over towards middle, we get Cajun.
Of course he does.
Magisk. Oh man, it's all cut down. Even Dupree over towards B, shut out North. They've found 0 footing until now. Gave it a little something to work. He's got 2 more players to present himself, and that's that. So 4 survivors for Astralis. You know, North kind of just, I think, like, without realizing it, walking into the bear trap that was both Magisk and Dupree. Each player picking up a 2K on the forefront of the pinch. So they found nothing there in round 10. 8-2 is the lead for Astralis.
One of the big troubles about being too well drilled in map control takes or executes is not covering things that you expect to be respected by grenades. So like, you know, Magisk jumping up over the sandbags, you can see the flash and the smoke were designed to decentivize the play that he was making. And our second player comes out swinging, not even expecting him to be there, even though he had just killed his teammate because it was too quick to call. But the reaction is that this part of mid is smoked, and we also threw a flash at him. He's probably not going to be on top of the sandbags. But Magisk is that kind of dude who's going to get a couple of kills in a very unfavored situation like that.
Yugi, to be tested, tries to get out of the way of the pistols, but AZ will find 1 kill. So a single kill there for North on their pistol round. They lost Christu very early. All too easy for Astralis, flexing the weapons. And look at them, working on lent payments. Those AKs do not belong to them, and yet they wield them well.
Now, I want to give respect to the fact that a lot of pro teams are, you know, willing to 5v5 the A site, but I would wonder why there isn't a thought to try to draw utility out on other parts of the map before going back to A, because the players on other parts of the map will eventually come to A to throw smokes, Molotovs, flashes for retakes, or to help defend if they rotate early. So you can get that same utility out from a player on another side of the map and not risk getting spammed down or taking these what feels like random fights on the A ramp in the beginning of the round. But it feels like this is the battle that North prefer. But it's not just North. I feel like a lot of teams like this. And I just wonder if that's the best course of action.
Smoking off the tarp, flashing past it. Zipex gonna feel a bit too much pressure. Magisk, he wants to still try and flex this, but he loses his teammate, so they make the conscious decision to give it up. And North, well, they'll take that real estate any day.
We're back to old ways. Magisk's pretty comfy here. It's just not the guy you want to peek you on this angle. I think of anybody else, maybe in the world, you know, for him to hold an angle like this, probably the scariest, the most guaranteed to at least get a single kill. Oh, but Magisk, did he push up?
Yeah, he came back around. Ooh, and MSL looking to do one better there. He actually creates a great distraction for Gaiden AZ to combine on site. Look at that wall of smokes. CTs were kind of caught between it, and then losing short meant they had to plug a hole Ooh, that seems to come out of nowhere. Hello, North. Nice to see you. 5 survivors.
Well,
as they gave up, they gave up that ramp, Mohan, at the start of the round and then just walked right back in.
Yeah, did Gate actually lurk up through the left side of the bomb site smoke, I
must
think?
have been past the crane and then, left into short.
You know what? Maybe so I was wondering, first of all, Magisk pushes up by himself and then ends up getting killed. He's done it before. He's like gotten the kill, so he's probably pretty confident. But even if he had killed MSL, then maybe Gate could have lurked out, killed him, and shot him in the back, and then, continued on to have that great round on top of it. So potentially a kind of a good response from North, understanding that MSL was going to make that play. I think I initially thought, this is too strong if MSL just sits here, holds us down. But they're clearly thinking about how to advance from previous rounds where they've had trouble. So it seems like they're identifying that as the pressure point of the A site for the initial portions of the round, trying to spam through the wall, trying to get that kill, and try not to get off by Device. And it looks like once they do that, they actually have a good chance of cracking open the rest of it. Magisk, in particular, is in a very hard-to-trade spot.
Back to the early numbers game. Again, that smoke that keeps them off. Oh, that's damage. 99 from the op versus AZ. Device, you're not supposed to be on that side of the ropes, my dude.
Oh my God, I'd be so scared.
Yeah. That's the kind of kid who falls in the gorilla pit.
It's like watching someone step on like the plexiglass on the top of the CN Tower.
Yeah.
You get scared irrationally.
Man, I can't even stand on the manholes in the street because I'm not falling into the sewers.
It's the last place I want to be. Oh.
And actually, I take that back. That's the last place I want to be. On the receiving end of Device's off, just a smidgen of his forehead peeks over. And how about another? Same place, same time of day. They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but Device maybe has other ideas. He's still dodging flashbangs in the midst of it all, smoke denying any kind of vision, and he is very much alone here, so a dangerous game to play, but
oh my God.
Regardless, swapping to the M4, let's go. A jack of all trades. He stops that bomb, and he knows he has another target here.
Freaking Tom Cruise, dude.
Mission impossible? I think not.
Completed. I'm out of here. That's nuts. Can you believe this guy is 55 years old? He's still got it. He has still got it. That's just wonderful. Out to the rifle, knows where the trade player is coming in and thinking that he's fallen back. Has a brand new weapon. Damn, man. And yeah, as another threat here, they can't even get to Magisk if they can't get through Device.
Oh. Utility to pressure, though. I mean, obviously, confidence boiling over the brim at this point. They try to set themselves back up on that early extension towards A. These spam fights have been so on point, but Zipex will stay alive for now, just barely. Gonna make sure he puts teammates in front of him so that he's not the first to fall.
Who do you think is winning the spam fights? I agree. I think, North have actually been very on point with their few tries through the wall.
Yep.
Astralis have had some good spams back. I can't really tell who's the better team at that.
I'm not sure who's better at it, but I know that North are benefiting from it the most.
Okay, I like that. That's probably the best way to look at it. Boost ensue. Device perched up. Shot in.
And Magisk with a second. They know that MSL's still here. He tries to go over, and this time it works. Last time he was denied that shenanigan. Love that he tries it again, and it works. Christu is going to give cover so that MSL can get out of position once the bomb goes down, and we have ourselves from the 2v3 to the 2v2.
Oh, he's dropping the Molotov early.
Whoa, and MSL goes for a peek. Thinks that maybe he would find Yugi moving his feet, trying to get away from the flames, but that's not the case. Christu, he's going to get close on this. Again, it's just going to take a couple of kills if he wants to finish the clutch. He's inside of the smoke. They're going to have to go around it. He knows they're tapping that bomb, trying to get him to make his move. He guts down the first one, but it's a stick. A disgusting stick that Yugi gets away with. Christu survives the round, but it is still an 11th for Astralis.
It doesn't affect the money. We're moving into the last round, 11-3. That is a nice try from North. They get closer. They've been developing on the A site. Can't say they haven't been, but I feel like you know, we saw both ends of that Molotov. We saw how it was thrown and how his teammate reacted to it. So I think Christu lined it up to land in the doorway, so Yugi couldn't stand in a spot like that, but he was there. And then MSL, I think, was going to peek for that heaven shot, but somebody was still in the doorway. So maybe the Molotov didn't go as deep as he expected. Either way, fast control here taken. Yeah, there was. Oh.
Device tries something very different this round. Goes peering into the depths of B and dies for it. Zipex, he's trying to, succeeding at, yes, holding this A site. A little grenade to help his adventure. And listen, it's still a 2 versus 2, but the HP favors that of North. Christu, he's going to try his best to just fly through this B bomb site. Man's running with a bottle in his hand. Gonna crack it over the top of Dupree, perhaps, but nope. He is turned back the other way. So Cajun, 5 kills, 11 deaths on the half. First attempt at a clutch, and we know he can pull them off, but he's gonna have to figure out where both these CTs have gotten off to. He's very wary of that deeper member, but he has the space to try and get around towards CT. He takes damage, but not as much damage as he deals the other way. 33 HP combined for Astralis. They're going to have to group up and try to find the timing, but at the same time, they don't want to get sprayed down by the same shots. So Cajun now a little bit flustered here. He's dodging the utility. He sees both players, and he hits the nail in the coffin. A 4th round for North. Still a huge lead for Astralis as they switch over to the T side. Folks, we'll be back with the second half after a brief break.
Catch a bad vibe when you're in my Some might play, but I don't wanna rush and make mistakes. And she don't care about the money. She don't wanna be a star. She just gives me good loving, yeah. So I keep her in my heart, yeah. Cause if we keep it in the moment, yeah. Hope you never go too far. If it's one thing I know, we can move slow and we can run down the clock. Baby, I got time, eh. 24 hours for you, eh. And you're on my mind like all the time, yeah. I got 24 hours for you. Girl, I just need 24 more. Stand up, baby, round of applause. Stand up like you're ready for war. Ooh, girl, I think I need an encore. Girl, I just need 24 more. Stand up, baby, round of applause. Yeah, you know I need 24 more. Yeah, you know I need 24 more. Ain't got much more words that I can say. Girl, there's room in my lane, yeah. So you can move to outer space, yeah. Cause what's a race without a chase, yeah. She don't worry about the money, no. She don't care about who you are. She just gives me good loving, yeah. So I keep her in my heart, yeah. And if we keep it in the moment, yeah. Hope you never go too far. If there's one thing I know, we can move slow and we can run down the clock. Baby, I got time, yeah. 24 hours for you, yeah. And you're on my mind like all the time, yeah. I got 24 hours for you. And you know that I just need 24 more. Stand up, baby, round of applause. Stand up like you're ready for war. Ooh, girl, I think I need an encore. Girl, I just need 24 more. Stand up, baby, round of applause. Yeah, you know I need 24.
Welcome back, folks. It's 11-4. Astralis are switching over to the T side of Vertigo, a place that we have seen them impress before. And Rock Solid holds rock solid performance. 16-6 for Yugi, 14-6 on Device. Hell, even Magist's got 12 kills. So yeah, they've come out swinging here, Mohan.
Yeah, they're rock solid. I'm rock hard. Everything's going super well right now.
It's a great Wednesday. But we also have a little bit of pressure here for North. MSL gets gushed, so you could argue he's lucky to be alive. He'll fall back. He still has that precious grenade. It's become his sole purpose to dunk that on someone's noggin. But he kind of cheats back into the depths of his bomb site. There are multiple frags here, so they're just welcoming them onto the bomb. Whoop! Yugi, good job. Fakes the plant, gets out, expects that they would go for such a tricky play. And there's the follow-up nade. That one lands. You can see how deadly it really could have been. Look at dupreeh here. He's the insurance policy. Cajun's not going to check this corner, so now that flank has been dealt with. Everybody on the bomb site for Astralis can set their eyes forward. And they're all on the same page. Bomb already halfway gone. Ooh, and it's going to get difficult to exit the elevator. Another couple of kills coming in. This is just a frag fest for Astralis. Way too easy. No response back for North at all. We are sitting on a pretty 12-4 score.
And what we're seeing, is this ready, set, go moments where before the bomb gets planted, it's this explode contact up the A ramp. It's not one player lurking in here. It's once something happens, everybody goes. And then when the bomb gets planted, the hats get switched, right? The Ts become CTs, and the CTs have to wait to try to do the exact same thing to the A site that the Ts did up the A ramp. And that's why all the kills just come in a flurry so quickly after they explode out of that choke point. This time doesn't work out so hot for North, but that's what they have to do, sadly enough.
Valve continues to make changes on this A site. I really do hope that one corner that Device's Molly just got stuck in is on the list. But hello and goodbye. North, blink and you miss it. That's 4 ump headshots in a matter of mere seconds. Cajun B doesn't understand that he's actually alone. Oh, and the poor guy never even gets a chance to pop with the USP. So excellent anti-eco, making mincemeat of what was that short A stack. Device walks into the deadliest portion of the entire map and gets away with no sweat on his brow.
Yeah, he's pretty versatile. Good at badminton, Counter-Strike, opping, rifling, umping, you name it. Device has it in spades. 18 and 7. Handball. He probably knows how to play that soccer game Europeans love. I don't want to see any Konas.
At football.
He probably does. I think he had like an Achilles injury that stopped him from badminton. Something like that. He was talented.
For a total
player.
badass, that sounds pretty lame.
Yeah, that's true. Astralis have done more utility damage than 3 members of North have done in total damage.
We need a name to associate to the fun fact generator here, because someone's spitting fire today, man. How you gonna do North like that?
Yesterday, there were some very confusing stats that were also hilarious and very memorable at the same time yesterday as well. That is kind of, that's an Omega Rolf.
Also, you missed a chance here. I'd like you to step the game up. Instead of nade domination, it should be domination.
Okay.
Just saying.
I was hearing some Hearthroics in the chat for last game because of the botched defuse.
Can you believe it? I mean, how are we supposed to follow that, Launders? Harry and Hugo.
Oh, there it is.
Taking us.
Holy crap! Live production.
I'm here to do my part.
Not bad. Not bad. Maybe when we're old and ugly, you can maybe take a job in production and be off camera. Not just I think I just said production's ugly. I didn't. That's not what I meant to say.
I was gonna let you get away with it, but I
tried to pack it in with old, but
yourself.
I'm just trying to tell jokes. I'm really not trying to hurt people's feelings. That was a complete mistake. Honestly, everyone production's way harder than me. If you guys have seen DreamHack production, some of the most beautiful people that you'll ever meet, inside and out.
Device? Yeah, all right. Pause comes to a close. Man doesn't let go of W. Runs all the way into the depths of the B site, and that creates so much space and gets so much information that dupreeh can confidently come around the corners. Look, Astralis aren't even ready for such a pace. They have to go back and get that bomb, and all the while still maintaining this B bomb site. Sure enough, somebody tries to jump over top. That's AZ, who has managed a second. Whoa. This was not supposed to happen. A 3 versus 4 turned even keel, and here comes Yugi with a cheeky mid flank. Again, mid hasn't really been an issue for either team. The T's tend to avoid it, but look at Christu confidently just running into the mix of what remained there for Astralis. He's trying to deny that 14th round, but they'll take it regardless of his efforts. 10 points of a lead here, 14-4. Astralis looking for a quick day in the office.
It's a really tough situation when you're on the A side and B side in low numbers, and that's being attacked by mid as well. There's really nobody that can hold your hand in terms of guidance, and nobody that can really help you in terms of rotations, just because mid can threaten, the A rotates. It slows everyone down. So it's a difficult situation for the CTs to be in. Another value of mid, of course. Interesting push up here by the CTs.
I think we're getting
they literally
weird.
Opened the door to their living room and ran inside.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we're getting into that weird territory at the end of a blowout map where if you're on the side of North, you can start getting away with whatever. You know, this is a perfect moment for MSL to pull out some kind of unorthodox rush, some unexpected level of aggression. And we see it work out for the moment. Not only a 4v4, but Device is barely alive.
Yeah, it's a read based on slow mid. Of course, if a T comes swinging out, maybe Cajun just gets cleaned like a clock, but if they're playing back like that with a supporting flash, it could make sense. And it has been a lot of slow mid, so maybe a nice conditional read.
Oh, minimal cover here to try and play with inside of the B bomb site. So AZ removed first and foremost. They have spotted a player on that construction boost over, but look at Cade ready to go inside of the bomb site. He's got his back covered by Cajun. Dupree's starting to remove other players, but he dies too inside of the site. So the flank is all that remains. We saw Cajun close the first half with a 1v2 clutch in near this exact situation, but now he is the CT. So can he manage the retake? Trying to take shots at the first. That's Magisk pinned down behind Orange. I was talking about how quad becomes such a limited position, and you can see that with Dupree. He has no cover, but still swings wide and takes Astralis to map point, 15-4.
It's really hard, man, to defend the B site. I mean, once you lose mid control and you're having a ramp behind you, it's such a difficult site to defend now. And that was all in order to make it more appealing for the T's. But basically, sometimes the battle can begin and end with mid control, and there's still a lot to be learned about the site itself. But you know, we saw how creative Astralis were trying to get on their B holds by having like a double stack up on the outside of B, push forward, and that area in general is kind of where the site is now. It's kind of like the long A on Dust 2. It assists the site without being the bomb plant zone.
Everything's kind of shifted.
And you can play for yourself there.
Ooh, shadow advantage. Device swinging out and finding MSL. So a 5 versus 3 here as we are preparing ourselves to close on Vertigo. Not starting the series as hot as they did versus G2 yesterday. North, I'm not going to write them off. For those of you who did not watch our North American game last night, we had Chaos lose like 16-3 and then make the comeback versus Liquid. So we will write this map off as an anomaly. Who knows if they rebound? It's not going to be easy, let's be real. And it's also not yet over. Who am I to say? 3v5 North? Maybe. Perhaps. There's a chance. Cajun's able to close down that first duel, and Dupree was on his own, so there's a little bit of timing for Cajun, but he is stuck, nowhere to go, and losing teammates. He's naded, of all things. Gade with everything to do here. Map 1 very much on the line, and he's denied any further footing. Folks, you've got Astralis with a strong start here in the Danish Demolition Derby. Vertigo in convincing fashion.
It's cool to see Astralis, you know, still winning and still being able to win convincingly. And then it's also really cool to see how Astralis are approaching Vertigo, giving some respect to B, understanding how to play it on the CP side, on top of attacking mid. And I felt like they were a bit more well-balanced than North in that regard, but we definitely did see a lot more T-side rounds from North, so that skews the stats a little bit.
Yep, 100%. Hard to crack through that defense, and I love the amount of aggression that Astralis started to afford themselves once they kind of found that clash unfolding on A, but it very much was just A is the name of the game for that first 15 rounds. Folks, Vertigo down, and Inferno's up next. So we will be back after the break with an analyst desk, and then map 2.
it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you gonna want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you gonna be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're gonna want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
You can't restrain me. You can search me. I'll give it all up just to be with you. I'm so happy. Now you've got me. I'll surrender all my love to you. Don't you see what you're doing to me? I'm in love and I can't break free. Now I'm begging with you, baby. Please don't leave me hanging. Oh, no, oh. It's a lockdown, baby. You drive me crazy. Ain't no escaping. Your love has got me doing time. You're my attorney, my judge and jury. I'm pleading guilty, so lock me up with the key. Oh, yeah. I said lock me up with the key. Yeah. Ooh, lock me up with the key. Baby, it's a lockdown, baby. You drive me crazy. Ain't no escaping. Your love has got me doing time. You're my attorney, my judge and jury. I'm pleading guilty, so lock me up with the key. You gotta take away the key, my baby. Lock me up with the key. Keep me in there. Lock me up with the key. Tell me, have I really sold my soul? I've been feeling I could lose control. The fuse is burning. I can't go on this way. Down love. This is all on me. This is all on me. Break away from the old mistake. Before it's over, still it's too late. Take the pain, watch it all away. Before there's nothing that we can say. I've been dreaming things that you don't know. Should I roll these dice?
Yugi, whoa! This man came out with a bang going up against North, his former teammates as well, and he wanted to put on a show, as did the rest of Astralis. 16-4 will be the end scoreline of map 1, but it's North's pick of Vertigo, and it certainly didn't look good for North at all. Okay, Astralis got off to a great start, but they showed no signs of life, and that's the scary part for me here, guys, because I'm feeling like North might have met their match right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't know what about you, Blay. It's just, it seemed to me like there was only one team on the server.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing with their Vertigo pick. I don't know why they keep going for it. Yeah, they managed to win against G2. They have a couple of wins here and there, but that's, I think, the other team underperforming rather than North having a crazy showing there. And I think Device, not just Device, everyone for Astralis had, I think, 3 players that tried for 17 frags apiece. Xyp9x was the bottom frag with 14 kills, and Device just a masterclass, right? 21 frags for him to close it out. It's like they were picked apart, completely dismantled. That A bomb site, for example, like Device alone with the op held onto the A ramp against 4 Ts pushing up. That means the protocols are falling apart. When you're facing a real challenge, they seem to be very clueless, at least on the T side. And yeah, they might have had a few ideas on the CD side, but when you don't have the rounds to work with, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? And this round in particular, man, this was just perfect opping. This is just like, not just opping, like the way he plays around this is beautiful to watch.
He makes it seem so effortlessly, right? He doesn't really do anything special, and I think that's a Device classic in the sense that we know how good he is. We know how good his fundamentals is. Device is not a simple in the sense that he makes those sick highlight plays. He's not a KNES with the AWP. He's just so good with the op, right? He's constantly picking his ankle. He's constantly moving around from the nades. This pickup right here where he gets a pick with the AWP, dodges 2 flashes, he goes behind the smoke now to the left, finds a pick, and look at the switch when he picks out the M4 off the ground. Look how smooth it is. Gets the pick, picks up the M4, easy, goes for the duel. He's well aware there's going to be another guy, and then he finishes off with a great M. Device is just, I mean, he's in a class of his own when he's on that CT side, especially with the AWP.
I feel like when it comes to like you just mentioned, right? He's not a KNES or a simple. I think the special thing about Device is, like you mentioned, how simple he makes it look. And I think there's a beauty in that, and how you don't have to be this freak of nature, you know, hard flicking opper. Play your fundamentals right. The awareness he had, like M4 at his feet, he knew about his spatial awareness of what's happening around him in the server is so phenomenal. But let's not take anything away from Yugi. What a showing, especially against his old team. That was very impressive from the young man, considering he wasn't playing with his preferred weapon of choice. It was the rifles, and he did a great job on the CD side.
Yeah, you'll be able to see from the scoreboards, right? Because that's what it comes down to here, is the fact that not only did the Astralis put on a good show, but there was not much of a showing coming out of the North camp, with Cajun trying his best with 12 frags. Everyone else was struggling to even hit 10.
Yeah, Cajun had to do a 1 versus 2 clutch to even make the first half, you know, let's say somewhat competitive. So they'll have to step it up now. Inferno's going to be the next map. That's Astralis' map pick. I'm having a hard time seeing how North are going to pull this one back. But KGB, maybe Crystal and MSL, they'll have to step it up a notch if they want to make it even competitive against a well-playing Astralis.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like it's going to be competitive, but we'll be finding out shortly because Inferno's coming up next. But before we get to that, it's going to a quick break, and then Scrawny and Lornas will take you through all the action that is Inferno.
Thank you for your patience, folks. We are back with what will be an exciting second map between Astralis and North. Just yesterday, we saw Astralis take down Heroic here on Inferno. It was a map where Magisk took absolute control of the server, and Yugi performed far better than he did in his first debut map. So, seeing as how Yugi played on Vertigo Launder, seeing how Device has been a consistency across both days now, do you believe in the North stonks?
I don't, but because it feels like my question mark would have been if does Yugi look comfortable or not? And like, yeah, his stats the other day were not great, but Bled also highlighted that kind of in private that there was like some good plays that he made that made it look like he was really part of the team, which is kind of what they want out of him more than anything else. And I think if he's in that comfort zone, I feel very confident in Astralis.
All right, good to know. Well, talking of confidence, look at North. In this pistol, on the CT side, they decide to go parading down middle, and they are met by a booby trap.
A Yugi trap?
It was yeah. Hold on, I need to click myself. Sometimes
Yugi is like, you
sometimes I hate
activated
you.
my trap card, right?
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
All right.
Magic Cylinder.
Magic Cylinder returns the damage.
Bottomless trap hole.
Oh my gosh. I think I got banned in tournament.
You can only actually play one. It's a limited card.
Right, limited.
Yeah. But before we continue to reveal our true nature, let's focus back on Counter-Strike. It is the 3v3. We did get a chance to catch our breath, seeing as, you know, both teams kind of clash at the bottom of mid. Both teams peel off from one another. And now they're throwing utility back over towards Arch. So a smoke grenade to deny any library vision. That bomb goes into the depths of the bomb site real deep. That bomb's planted in the back. Now, obviously, Device keeping his eyes on the potential for an apartments flank, but I think once Zipex sees the numbers coming up short, this should confirm to the T's that maybe Device doesn't have to watch it. But I eat my words because one goes back and peeks into Boiler, so now they know they're pinched. These counter-terrorists on short are in a real pickle. But luckily, Cajun's grenade kind of alleviates a little bit of pressure here. Gade whips back round, taps into the head of Device. Bombs planted for Zipex, and he gets the diffuser off of it. There is no kit on the play. A 10-second stick. That one frag from Zipex should have, could have, may have been enough. You hold your breath. Oh! And North are gonna steal it. Cajun Big B gets the defuse, and the CTs start off well.
Hopefully it was the airstrafe that got him to the bomb that made the difference. I'm hoping. Man, that was a very, very close round. Very close indeed. A good retake, as you mentioned. North were in a pickle. They were getting flanked and they knew it, but Astralis knew that they were flanking, and so they didn't have to overcommit. So Astralis were able to control every engagement and then still lost. So a very, very nice round from North to come back from. One of the most confusing situations you can be in, trying to retake the A site. Never fun, not even on a pistol.
Props to Cajun as well in that clutch, not only getting to the defuse, but remember that they kind of put Zipex into that problematic situation because the grenade kill is what started the 3v3 to the 3v2 man advantage. Obviously, remember, Gade, he's got to flick around 180 and tap the head of Device as he exits Boiler. So not an easy pistol to close. But seeing as at one point in that same round, North were at the bottom of B, completely wrapped around and kind of boxed in, I think they avoided what could have been dire straits. Regardless, whoa, hold on.
What
Magisk.
a flash.
Yeah, peeks with it, goes ahead and topples two players. So North, with the economic advantage potentially slipping, we still got that triple AK set up for Astralis. They're going to continue to trudge along towards A. Cajun B. What can you do? He doesn't see the player over towards Library.
Come on,
loses his
Dupree.
head. Yeah, and follow-up damage. The Deagle is dirty. AZ nowhere to be found as Astralis. They don't play by the rules. They rob back the momentum after pistol.
They probably still get the bomb plant, but Dupree getting the kill means they don't even lose a player, which they certainly would have lost as they got onto the A site. And maybe he could have gotten a kill and fallen back into halls and made it a very, very difficult round. A bad plant location, the threat of halls that you can't use, and instead North end up with only a single player left. What an amazing play by Dupree. And you know what was crazy? Even crazier than that was that I saw a moto smoke come out. So how did Dupree even see the halls?
I think it was clear. It was just over top because on Cajun's screen, you could see dupree's head move by. And either he didn't see it because he's so focused on short, or he realizes that because players are going to come up short a second later, maybe that was for the better.
Oh, that's what it was.
Oh, the smoke hadn't popped. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the last second he could have connected that shot. If he doesn't get it on the first, then I think Cajun's given a chance to mow down some bodies on short, but that's not the world we live in, Mo. We move forward. 1-1, all the guns for Astralis, M4 included.
And for people who aren't aware, Magisk is calling now. I think that's true. We know that.
Yes. Yugi mentioned that yesterday.
And so, good play there. Very simple CS. You get 2 kills lane, you go lane to A. That's it. They had dupreeh go to cut off rotators because those guys are late because they were holding deep banana, which was telegraphed by the smoke that came down. And then dupreeh knows he can make a ton of progress, and that's why he was able to see halls that quickly. And that's why he ran in the first place. Basically skipped out all the angles, Cubby into CT spawn in library, and just went to help his teammates secure the site first and foremost, because they thought there should be at least one more person there. But you really don't want to overcomplicate a situation like that and try to wrap arch with everybody or even go B when the rotates are so far away.
Smoke destined for CT spawn. Should allow Device to keep his eyes over on site, but remember, AZ is boosted, and Christu looks to set him up. Pistol tries to push through. That grabs both players' attention, but Magisk will save the day. Denies any kills, as Device is lucky to be standing on 9. And obviously with North on the entire opposite side of the map, there is going to be no further casualties for now.
My opinion, Magisk the best B entry in the world for Inferno. I've seen him do stuff that you just cannot explain. He beats out every crossfire. He's able to kill the CT guy and the quad guy, pinpoint precision, through smoke, through flashbangs. It can be literally Dunkirk in the front of the B site, and Magisk will find a way to get 2 kills. That's how good he is. I mean, this was just an eco round, but I'm sure we'll see more of that. As you mentioned, he was punching at or above his weight yesterday on Inferno as well.
Yeah, something above a 1.2 HLTV rating by the end of the map. I believe 23 frags. So he was up there. What's another opinion of yours, Mohan? Give me one quick.
I mean, a pineapple belongs on pizza, and anybody who eats boneless wings is also a boneless human.
You can put a stamp on that. Little bits of utility picked up here by North. A single frag grenade, a single smoke, some upgraded pistols, just to be fancy. But our expectations are set similar to what we saw last round. Astralis, huge advantage, and this time even more so because the B bomb site's completely open.
Why wouldn't you walk into a free site? No tells just yet. But it looks like North tried to sneak into the wrong house party. Astralis, the cool kids, they've decided we're gonna have the block party over at B, and you're not gonna get the invitation. They got Michael Scotted.
Yikes!
I know you've been watching.
Speaking of parties,
you've been watching The Office, so.
Yeah, I finished the last season like a couple months ago, so I've just destined myself back to now rewatching it all over again.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's all about, just over and over again. Yeah. I recommend watching Dwight. I forgot his name, the actor's name, but he goes and quizzes Billie Eilish on The Office trivia, and she nails it. She knows the answers to some stuff I had no idea was even a possibility. So that's a cool one. I recommend people go and watch. Clean round here.